Hey guys, Allie here, and I just want to come on today and bring up the topic of overthinking. How overthinking kills the magic in life. So what happens is when we overthink, so we have thousands of thoughts that cross our mind throughout the day. Now, our mind does not have to engage with those thoughts. They can let it pass by. But many times, most times, a lot of us will have thoughts that pass by, and then we will engage with it and start thinking about it and start telling a story in relation to that thought or that body of thoughts. And that pulls us right out of the present moment. When we're not in the present moment, we're not in our full power, because everything is happening now. Everything is in the present moment. If we're not present, then we're not open to all the possibilities that are coming in right now in the present moment, because we're off in our mind. So things like opportunities, ideas, revelations, synchronicities, there are things that are always coming to us. But if we're in our mind, we're shut off from those, and we're in another place. We're not being present with what is. So we might miss valuable opportunities, or like I said, thoughts or revelations, inspirations, all of that kind of stuff. When we're in our mind and we're overthinking, most likely the story that we're telling about the thought that has come in, or that the thoughts that have come in, is not even true. Most of the time, the mind is going off on its own and creating a whole different story, mainly involved around fear and doubt and being afraid, anxious. That is what the mind really typically focuses on, because the mind wants to keep us safe. And keeping us safe means keeping us in the familiar, not doing anything outside of our comfort zone. So it just tries to keep us small. There's nothing wrong with that. It serves its purpose. The key is that it's not here to be the guiding force in our life, but in many of our lives, we've let the mind take over and become that guiding force. When in reality, the mind is serving the spirit. So the spirit is the guiding force. So when we're overthinking, we're either in the past or we're in the future. If we're in the past, usually we're sad or we're regretful or something like that. And if we're in the future, we're usually anxious about something, anxious, afraid, fearful. And so none of these things serve us. Not only do they not serve us, but they really, really lower our vibration. Overthinking keeps us disconnected. I mean, we're always connected, but it keeps us in sort of a disconnection from our spirit, because our mind is going and going and going and going on all these different stories and all these different thoughts, that it can't feel what's coming from the spirit as much, because it's so wrapped up in itself and what it's thinking about. That's why it's so key to be able to come back to the present moment and to let go of those not even thoughts, because thoughts will always come, but let go of that thinking. Just because you have thoughts come in and pass through your mind does not mean that you have to engage with them ever. We can always just let thoughts pass on through. Now, thinking does serve us, and of course, in some capacity, and that's fine. But it's the overthinking that I'm talking about, the thinking that takes over and takes you out of the presence in your life and into a story in your head. And like I said, most likely that story is not ever going to happen. Usually it's some fear-based kind of thing, and it's sitting here and it's ruminating and thinking of all the things that could happen. And remember, what we give our energy to and our focus on, we create more of. So if we're sitting here thinking those kind of thoughts, then we're just going to have more and more thoughts come up along those lines. And then it's just kind of like a spiral, and it'll just keep going, spiraling downward as we keep thinking those thoughts that are fearful and overthinking the thoughts and that are in that same vibration. So the biggest takeaway from this is to always notice when you're feeling like you're thinking too much. Most likely when this happens is you don't feel good. You feel kind of what they term as like a negative vibration. You feel negative, you don't feel very positive. That's usually a big clue that you're completely wrapped up in your head. And when you notice that, just take a step back and realize that your mind has taken you on a story. But you don't have to accept that story. You don't have to be taken along that ride with your mind. Our power comes from us choosing what things we're going to engage with, what things we're going to be present for, what things we're going to allow our minds to, ruminate on. If we're going to ruminate on something, make it something that feels good, But ideally, let's come back to the present. Have everything that you want intentionally to experience, and then know that it's unfolding in every moment and being present in your life as that unfolds. And it's just overthinking has become really part of our society. We just think. And that overthinking usually leads to, like I said, a very major feeling of disconnection to our spirit, and we feel disconnected from others and from ourselves, and really coming back and getting out of our mind and really getting back into our body and into the present moment is the key for feeling better. Not only feeling better, but feeling an increased sense of connection with ourselves and with others, and an increase in our vibration as well. So I just wanted to pop on with that. Lord knows I've done my share of overthinking, guys, and still do, but I continue to work on that and to be aware when I go into that space, so I can make the conscious choice to come out of it and do something that brings me back into the present moment. So I hope that this is helpful. And if you like this, please hit the like button, and please share and subscribe if that feels good to you. And I will see everyone tomorrow. Okay, bye guys.